What's up? Welcome to Man Down Sports, man. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds before I really get into it because the last two videos I've done for like the first 30 to 45 seconds, like I don't know, my mic was like doing some robot type stuff, man. It probably sound like that right now. I hope it doesn't. Hope it sounds clear, but I'm gonna wait about 35, 40 seconds or something like that, um, just to see if it clear up, man. Because I was really mad about the last two videos. The first 30 seconds was just real bad, and I can't hear it in my headphones, but when I listen to the playback, it's there. So we had about 45 seconds now. So hopefully it's cleared up. But anyway, welcome back to Man Down Sports. I want to get in here, man, because I just got finished watching the game. Well, LeBron James just broke the record. He broke Kareem's record. Everybody was in attendance. You had his family, his wife, his kids, his mom, Jay Z, all the celebrities was there. Of course, Kareem was there. It was a big deal. We knew it was gonna be a big deal. They was in L.A. at home, and they lost to the Thunder. But LeBron James, he did get that record. He got those 36 points he needed, and that opens up the conversation because right away he does the post game interview with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal says, "Man, you need to flex. Say it with your chest. You the goat. You're the greatest of all time." Even Shaquille O'Neal before, I want to say last year, he said once LeBron gets the record, he's the GOAT. Kendrick Perkins said the same thing. Shannon Sharp said the same thing. It's been like that for a long time. Like that the people who support LeBron James would say he's the greatest of all time. And then they'll say, well, if LeBron James does this, he's definitely the GOAT. So when he got his fourth ring and got a ring with a third team, they said, oh, he's the GOAT. And when he passed Michael Jordan, now he's the GOAT. And now they're saying he passed Kareem for number one. Now he's the GOAT. And my question is, does that really make him the GOAT? Does achieving a all-time scoring title or all-time scoring record or any type of stat, is there any stat that makes somebody the greatest of all time? What is the greatest of all time? I'm gonna tell you what I think it is, and then y'all can let me know in the comment section what y'all think it is. Y'all can call in, y'all can join the stream, whatever y'all want to do, man. We had this conversation, man. But we'll get into it. What up, Dino? Dino said he's driving. Uh, I guess I'll put the number up, man. I don't want you to drive and talk unless you got that hands free. If you got the hands free, that'll work. What is this? If it does, it means Kareem was to go all these years. That's a good point. So for the people that says that now that he's number one in scoring, that makes him the GOAT. Does that also mean that Kareem has been the GOAT this whole time? And does that mean that who's number two? Is it Karl Malone? Does that mean Karl Malone is number two on the GOAT list? So it's very interesting how people had that conversation and had that debate. We're gonna get into it, man. I'm gonna probably spend about 25, 30 minutes on it. I don't want to make this no long video because, of course, I'll probably come back in here tomorrow when everybody's up, man. It's late, people sleep. I know I'm on the West Coast. Most of the people I know on the East Coast. So I ain't gonna stay on here long. What's up, Dino? Um, Chris said no. MJ still the GOAT. Why? Why is MJ still the GOAT, Chris? Me just playing devil's advocate. If LeBron is number one in scoring all time, and by the time he finished, he might be maybe top three in assists, top four maybe. He'd definitely be top five in assists. So if he got the assists and scoring, number one in scoring, number five in assists, does that make him go? I think that's the argument people is making. Goats play defense at all times. That's a real good point. LeBron James played defense his first. I would say his first stint in Cleveland, he definitely played defense. He went to Miami, of course, playing for Pat Riley and Coach Sproul. You're gonna play some defense. So what was it? His first was that his first 8 years maybe? He had rookie contract in Cleveland, and he re-signed. So yeah, his first 6 or 7 years must have been Cleveland, and then 4 years in Miami. So it was his first 10 years he played defense. I mean, that's good. 10 years, first 10 years he played defense, and then when he went back to Cleveland the second time, that's when he fell off more and more with his defense because he went back into playing the ball dominant role that he was playing before he went to Miami. So yeah, his defense kind of fell off. And if you notice, everyone who plays that ball dominant style of offense really, kind of take a rest on defense. I mean, because if I'm going to be the point guard, the primary ball handler, the primary scorer, the primary playmaker, if I'm going to be all of those things, when do I get my rest? If I'm running every play through some type of high screening role, and I'm always having the ball, and I'm always having to make the pass for the guy that's going to take the shot, or I'm going to score myself. And most of my points are after I've taken 8 to 10 dribbles and had the ball for 15 to 16 seconds out of the shot clock, and I'm going downhill with a head full of steam to get a layup or a dunk. You do that for 4 quarters for 82 games. At some point, you got to rest. And everyone who plays like that seems to be resting on defense. Harden, Westbrook, Luka, LeBron. I would say Jokic, but I think, to be honest with you, I think out of all the people who played that style, I think LeBron and Jokic um, did it the best. They did it the best because, I mean, of course, LeBron won with it, but it's such a flawed style to play. In order to win, it's either got to be a super team involved or close to a super team. And of course, he got two with a super team with Miami, and he got one in Cleveland that was close to a super team. Of course, having a player like Kyrie Irving in his prime, that's a superstar. Of course, LeBron's a superstar. And Kevin Love was almost, he wasn't, no, I wouldn't even say almost, he was an all-star. He wasn't a superstar. So that's why it was almost a super team. Not quite. If Kevin Love was on Bosch level and he was considered a superstar, then that would definitely be a super team. But that was very close, right? But you need that type of squad to make that flawed offensive system work. And LeBron did it with a super team in Miami, an almost super team in Cleveland for one ring. And then he went to the Lakers, and that's the ring he got that he didn't have a super team for or anything close to a super team, but he did have special circumstances with the bubble, right? So Goats play defense. We never threw stats into the conversation for why Jordan was the GOAT. MJ had the stats, the accolades, and the eye test. MJ was the GOAT, even though he never eclipsed Kareem in points. And he never tried to eclipse Kareem in points either. The thing about MJ, when you listen to him talk on any of his interviews, he say uh, getting Kareem's scoring record never was in his mind. If it was in his mind, he wouldn't have retired to go play baseball, which I don't believe. I don't think that's true because he retired to play baseball because his dad was killed and it just took a toll on him, right? So I still think he would have retired then, no, regardless. But coming back and three-peating again and then retiring again because Jerry Krause didn't want to bring the team back, if he really was concerned about that scoring record, he was on pace to destroy that record, right? He was really on pace to destroy that record, right? So if MJ wasn't so focused on winning rings, he would have said, "Okay, Jerry Krause, you go break the team up. I go somewhere else and join somebody and play." Right? He literally could have went and said, "Okay, Phil Jackson, wherever you find a job at, I'm going to sign there. Whoever go hire Phil Jackson." But people wasn't thinking like that back then. Only thing they was thinking is, okay, Jerry Krause is about to fire Phil, and he's going to not re-sign Scotty. So that means he breaking up the squad and trying to start afresh. He never even thought, oh, we can go somewhere else, right? He never thought that. Like think about right now. if Clay, Steph, and Draymond were all 35, like Michael Jordan was, and Robin was, I want to say 37, 38. Robin might have been 38 at that time. Jordan was 35, Pippen was 34, right? And let's say Steve Kerr didn't like the GM, right? Bob Myers. And Bob Myers told them, look, this I'm not resigning y'all. We so far in the luxury. We can't keep this going. I can't resign everybody. And I freaking hate Steve Kerr, and he's done after this season, right? Just like the last dance, right? But Steph, Draymond, and Clay still wanted to keep playing, and Steph Curry still wanted, Steve Kerr still wanted to coach. Imagine right now if that was happening. All that would happen is Steve Kerr would just get a job somewhere else, and all three of those players would probably follow him. I mean, that's literally what would happen. Steve Kerr would probably get hired by the Knicks or somebody like that, Charlotte, who knows? And then Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond just go follow him, and let's see if we can put something back together, get the band back together, and do something. Literally, Michael Jordan, if he was thinking about the scoring record, he could have done that. He could have said, "I want to continue to play. Forget the Bulls. Me, Scotty, and Phil. We'll just go somewhere else. We'll sign, and we'll keep playing." And Michael Jordan could have kept going after that record. Or Michael Jordan could have went and just walked and joined the most dominant big man in the league, Shaq, and said, "Hey Phil, let's go to LA and let's just join Shaq." And it would have been instead of Kobe and Shaq, it would have been an MJ and Shaq with Phil. Imagine that. That's pretty crazy. Just imagine, man. Like all those things would happen. But Mike was like, you know what? I got 6 rings. That's gonna be hard for anybody to catch. I got 2 3-peats. That's gonna be hard for people to do. I'm good with that. I got 6 rings, bro. I'm good with that. And he went to the crib. He never thought about that scoring title or that scoring record. He never thought. It never crossed his mind. But yeah, you're right. Stats wasn't. What's up, Aaron? Stats wasn't the was a big focal point. Are we saying that LeBron having the points record makes up for his lack of MVPs and rings? Because if that's the point, then now they are even at best. They're even. Um, that's another good point. So let me go ahead and break down how I think or how I look at the GOAT, right? First and foremost, I'm looking at how good the player is, how polished, how complete the player is, because the greatest of all time, first and foremost, has to be the best basketball player, right? So for someone to skip that part and go straight to the numbers to decide who the best basketball player is or who the GOAT is, for me, is kind of backwards. So the first thing I do is I find out, man, who's the greatest player I ever seen play? Who's the most complete player? Who's the most polished player? And for me, that player is Michael Jordan. And the second player is Kobe. So Michael Jordan and Kobe are the greatest players I've seen with my own 2 eyes and observed their career, right? Which is kind of unfair because I never got a chance to observe the careers of people like Wilt and not even Kareem. I didn't observe the only thing I have is stats, highlights, right? But I didn't live through that era where I'm reading newspaper clippings and things are happening in real time. And I'm able to see them and live through the challenges that they live through and overcome. Like that gives you a different appreciation for it, right? Like if you was living back there in Bill Russell's day, and to feel the type of atmosphere Boston must have been, as racist as that city is, and like just to see what Bill went through, and what type of arena they was playing in, like it'll give you a different appreciation. So let me cut it just to modern day because I can't speak for the guys I didn't observe. So for modern day, the best players I ever seen with my own 2 eyes is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, right? Now, Michael Jordan was able to build such a resume uh, that was so ironclad to go with him being the best player. It equated to him being the GOAT. Kobe Bryant matched Michael Jordan as a player, but his resume didn't match Michael Jordan's because Kobe Bryant came out of high school and jumped on a team that was already ready with Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Rick Fox, Byron Scott. Who else they had? Uh, it was a couple of guards in front of him, right? Eddie Jones. Did I say Eddie Jones? Eddie Jones, right? So he joined that squad with a coach in Dale Harris that didn't believe in playing rookies. And not only was Kobe a rookie, he was a guy that got drafted at 17, 18 years old. His mom and dad had to sign his contract. You get what I'm saying? Or sign a waiver, right? So you get what I'm saying? So he didn't want to play Kobe like that. It took Kobe to actually prove himself. It took about 2 years for him to really break the lineup. And in his second year as a bench player, he made the All-Star. Like this is crazy, right? Playing behind two guys who had already made All-Stars before, or maybe Van Exel and Eddie Jones probably made All-Star later. Maybe they wasn't All-Stars then, but All-Star caliber players in Eddie Jones and Van Exel. He's playing behind them, plus a coach that didn't want to play him, plus with the most dominant big man in the game. Imagine making All-Star coming off the bench, right? You know that shows you how what Kobe was made of. But being that he had to play alongside Shaq as a sidekick, and plus his first 2 years he wasn't playing at all. At best, he was coming off the bench, getting some bench minutes. His numbers is not going to be as crazy as somebody like LeBron's or Michael's. LeBron came out of high school and played immediately on a bad team. Got drafted number one. You know, Cleveland was trash, and it was like, hey, here's the keys to not only the team, here's the keys to the city because you're from here, right? Do whatever you want. We'll fire whatever coach you don't want, right? Whatever player you don't want to play with, we'll let him go. We'll build this team around you from scratch. You know, and he come in right away, scoring 22 points a game. You get what I'm saying? Totally different. So there are a lot of people that's in the top 10 of all time who, on paper, resume was going to look better than Kobe's just by nature. But Kobe was better players than most of those guys. So that's how I look at it. So for that reason, it's a debate between Kobe. The debate starts with Kobe, right? It just depends on what you value. Do you value the paper resume over what you can observe on the court? Or do you value what you can observe, like who actually the better player is? And for sure, Kobe Bryant is the better player, the more polished player, the more complete player who had the less holes in his game. Like the only thing you can say that Kobe didn't do at an elite level was shoot threes, right? And at best, Kobe probably shot threes slightly above average or maybe average. And so same thing for MJ. MJ was average as a three-point shooter. So Kobe and MJ both had one thing they were average at, but they was elite at everything else. Elite footwork, no wasted movements, and how they attacked the defense as far as scoring. They passed at elite level. They defended at an elite level. They posted up at an elite level. Their jump shot was elite. Mid-range, fadeaway, pull up, off the ball, footwork, IQ. Kobe Bryant is the all-time leader for shooting guards and assists. I want to say if you count Jerry West, I think Jerry West might be one. Kobe is two, just depending on if you count Jerry West as a shooting guard or whatever, small forward, whatever you want to call it. But like these are the things that Michael Jordan and Kobe were. They were complete basketball players through and through. Free throws, everything. And then you got LeBron James, who physically is unmatched. Like you can't create a better player on 2K, and that's what LeBron was. But as far as like what you can go in the gym and practice, he had several holes where MJ and Kobe had zero holes, but they only had one thing that was average is 3-point shooting. LeBron had actual holes in his game, like cannot shoot free throws, cannot dominate without the ball, no catch and shoots. He wasn't a spot up shooter, no pull up shooter. Like all of this stuff was just holes in his game to the point where Dallas was and San Antonio was able to expose him in the finals and make him shoot jump shots and almost sweep them. Like San Antonio swept him, and Dallas, I think, gave him a gentleman's sweep. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about a complete player, a more polished player. Kobe and Mike were more complete, more polished than LeBron. But LeBron's resume is better than Kobe's because Kobe missed out on 2 or 3 years, and he played sidekick to Shaq for another 4 years, right? So that slowed him down a bit. So that's how I look at it, right? My eyes, what I can observe, tell me who the better player is, and then I validate what my eyes is telling me with what the stats tell me, right? And like if I look at Kobe and say, you know what, he might be the best scorer I've seen since Jordan, and then I go to his numbers and be like, yeah, he was averaging 29. So I mean that checks out, right? So what my eyes tell me, and then what the stats tell me, if they match, then I can come to a conclusion. But if my eyes tell me something that the stats is telling me different, um, like I watch James Harden play and I look at his stats and say, oh man, he averaging 30, and they tell me, oh man, he's doing something only Michael Jordan has done, and I say, but is he as good a scorer as Michael Jordan? So then I got to watch him play, and what I'm seeing when I'm watching him play don't tell me he's a better scorer or even close to Michael Jordan. It just tells me he's the only one with the green light on his team when he was with Houston, right? That's why he's scoring 30. He's going to the free throw line 15 times a game. That's why he's scoring 30, right? He's just jacking shots up. That's why he's scoring 30, right? Nobody else is allowed to shoot on his team except if it's off his assist. That's why he's getting 30. So the stats have to validate what your eyes show you. You can't just go to the stats and come to a conclusion. You watch something, you get a thought in your mind. Like if you want to look at it scientific, you get a theory, and then you have to use good science and research and the stats to validate or confirm what your theory is. And my theory is he's the greatest scorer I've seen. Does the stats support it? That's how you're supposed to do it, right? So if you do it that way, and then you look at this scoring record, if you just go to the scoring record and say, oh man, the leading scorer of all time, he got to be the best scorer ever. Well, when you watch him play, it don't tell you he's the best scorer ever because Kobe, Michael score better than him. Even KD score better than him. So then how does he get this record? If why is what I'm looking at on paper not matching what my eyes is telling me? Okay, well now you got to do research and do science. Okay, well he played 21 years. He started playing when he was 18. He barely gets hurt, right? He's playing in a system that, I mean, he's really just got the ball all the time. He's jacking up. And it's just okay. Now I understand, right? So is this something that Kobe and MJ or Kevin Durant, if anybody else who had the longevity of playing 20 years and the luck of not being having any major injuries for 20 years, would they have this scoring title too? And the answer is yes. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that the unique thing about this scoring record, or the big takeaway about this scoring record, is that LeBron James has a very unique and blessed, wonderfully built body where he don't get hurt, and he played for a long time, and he was able to play at a high level at age 38. So that's what that tells you. It tells you at 38, this is what's special about what he's doing. He's able to do it at 38, but they don't tell me he's better than someone. They don't, right? So for me, in this GOAT conversation, I'm still going with the better basketball player, who's Michael Jordan, who has the best resume. So back to what LaCour has here on the screen with this question: is he trying to make up for it with these records for what he's lacking in other areas? And that's pretty much what the goal is. The goal is, well, I can't catch Michael Jordan in rings. That's the big thing. And I definitely can't catch him as a player. Like I can't be as good as Michael Jordan. Like it's just some things I can't do. I can't shoot as good as Michael Jordan. I can't play without the ball as good as Michael Jordan, things of that nature. So he knows I can't get in the lab and become a better player than MJ. I am what I am. I'm LeBron. This is what I am, and it's not as good as Michael Jordan. That's fine. But what I can do is do all that. I can play for 20 years and just shatter the record book. And hopefully that is a way to get me in that conversation. And in a lot of people's eyes, that's going to give me the title of greatest of all time if I get these records. And that's what happened. If he was better than Michael Jordan, no one would be debating this. No one would be debating it. It's not because Michael Jordan has 6 rings. It's because Michael Jordan is better than LeBron. If LeBron was better than him, even with 6 rings, if LeBron had 4 rings, I would probably say I think LeBron's the GOAT, despite because we did that for Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. Bill Russell had more rings, but Michael Jordan was a better basketball player than Bill Russell. So everyone was like, "This is the best we ever seen." He's the best we ever seen. And then once he put the resume out there, it was like, "Oh man, he's the greatest. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time." LeBron James first have to become a better player than Michael Jordan before he get in that conversation, and he hasn't done that. Kobe matched Michael Jordan as a player. You got to respect that. You got to respect the guy who get in the lab and say, "I'm going to become better than Mike by getting in the lab and becoming a complete player. I'm gonna dominate on both ends of the floor. I'm gonna win just as many rings." That's how I'm going to get my name in that conversation. But Kobe never really got his name in there because the media didn't like him that much. He wasn't a media dollar, right? But for hoopers and ball players, Kobe name is definitely in there, and is above LeBron's. He spent the next 10 years trying to accumulate stats. Yes, yeah, because the front door. Let's say the house was. Let's say the GOAT debate was in the house, right? And coming through the front door, you got a doorman that's saying before you can get in here, you have to match the level of who the current GOAT is, which is Michael Jordan. You have to be at least a good a player as he is to get in here. Once you get in here, then we can look at your resume. But if you don't make yourself a complete player like Michael Jordan did, then you can't even get in the house. So what LeBron is saying was, shoot, man, I can't get past the doorman. So I'm gonna go through the back door by accumulating all these stats to get in the house. So LeBron entered into the back door pause to get in the GOAT debate. And that's what accumulating stats is all about. LeBron James, Ohio finest. Yeah, he the GOAT. He one of the GOATs, King James. I meant to say King. He King James, man. Thank you for the 20 years of inspiration and entertainment, for sure. Chasing chips is weak. LeBron James dedicated to the game. I agree. He is dedicated to the game. Then he wouldn't have won. What you talking about, Aaron? Um, Bill. Bill is great. What up? What up, Aaron? Yeah, Bill is great. 20 years of straight balling. Yeah, I mean nobody's denying that. Land of Heartless. Nobody denying that, man. He balled for 20 years. That's a fact. Nobody's taking none of that away from him. The LeBron can get all the praise that he deserves. The only time people start giving any pushback is when it comes to the GOAT debate. Like everything you said about LeBron, nobody's gonna disagree with it. We all agree with it. He's great. He's one of the greats. He's Mount Rushmore. He's top 5. He's all of those things. He's a winner. He's a leader. He's a likable guy. I mean, he's the king. All that stuff. You know what I mean? So like nobody's ever gonna deny that. I lived back then. Who is this? This that old? Kobe came in the league with a stacked deck. Wow. Okay, yeah. He came in with a stacked deck for sure. And that's why now, yeah, you're right. He inherited Shaquille O'Neal, right? So yeah, I mean Shaquille O'Neal fall in your lap, but at the same time, I want to say that Shaquille O'Neal inherited a top 5 player. He just got him fresh out of high school. Like how lucky you got to be to come in the league as a number 1 pick somehow get lucky enough the next year after you win Rookie of the Year to have another lottery pick. Well, I think the number 2 pick, in which you take Chris Webber, Orlando Magic did, and then trade Chris Webber for Penny Hardaway, and you got immediately Shaquille O'Neal as a top center in the league, top 3, behind maybe Hakeem, and no, I say top 2 behind Hakeem. David Robinson might have been 3rd, right? So you got a top 2 center in the league, and then the next year you get Penny, who immediately became an all-star and one of the best guards in the league. Like, he immediately was better than every guard. Michael Jordan was out of the league. I mean, he came and he passed up. I'm not gonna say Grant Hill. He passed up Grant Hill, but he passed up Stackhouse. Um, he passed up. He passed up. Who was all guard? Steve Smith, Brian Shaw, Mookie Blaylock, Mark Price, Mahmoud Abdul-Jabbar, um, who? Tim Hardaway. Shoot, man, it was so many guards back then, and Penny immediately became the best one. Jay Kidd was in the league then. Jay Kidd won Rookie of the Year with Grant Hill. So yeah, he just immediately became the best point guard in the league. And Shaq inherited that, went to the finals, couldn't win it, went to LA, then inherited Eddie Jones and Van Exel, so he joined the stat squad pretty much. Eldon Campbell was there. Eldon Campbell was the center before he got there. He moved to power forward, so I mean the team was complete. They just added Shaq, and Shaq couldn't get it done. He kept getting put out by Utah, whatnot, and then they didn't lift off till Kobe showed up as a rookie, taking shots in the playoffs that nobody thought a 18-year-old rookie would take. But he showed a lot of guts, showed a lot of balls to do it, so they knew what they had. And then all he did was just stay ready and better himself. And then when he got his shot, he took off. Phil showed up, boom. So I mean, Kobe benefited from Shaq, but Shaq also benefited for Kobe. I mean, so we're not gonna act like lucking up and being joined with a superstar is affecting your legacy like that, because when you get joined up with a superstar and you meet expectations or you exceed expectations, that's all you can ask for. And they three-peated, and they went to 4 straight finals. They three-peated and went to 4 straight finals. How many people three-peated? Like LeBron joined the super team with Bosh Wade, and they didn't even three-peat. And then not only did he have Bosh and Wade, he went and got Ray Allen from the Boston Big Three and joined him, had him come off the bench. And then the not a big three, but a little three that they had in Orlando with Rashard Lewis, Turkoglu, and Dwight Howard, he went and grabbed Rashard Lewis from that little three. And then the little three that they had in Memphis with Paul Gasol, Jason Williams, and Mike Miller, he went and grabbed Mike Miller from that. So imagine that squad. And imagine not being able to three-peat, but Shaq and Kobe three-peated, but with a super duper team, you lose in horrible fashion to Dallas. And then you finally win 2 in a row, and then you lose again to San Antonio, which you should have lost to San Antonio the year before. So I mean, underachieve with a super team or meet or exceed expectations with a super team. That's how I look at it. Corey, what's up? Ain't nothing, man. Let me read these comments real quick. So, what is the greatest team of all time then? Dang, Aaron, you want me to remix it and switch to a whole nother topic right now? Greatest team of all time? I have no clue. Probably one of those Boston teams. I mean, when it comes to having a team compared to the other teams in that era, you'll probably have to give the nod one of those Boston teams. They won 10 straight, 11 straight finals, man. Like, I mean, they had so many Hall of Famers on that team. It's ridiculous. So probably one of the Boston squads. Probably be the greatest team of all time. Then after that, I probably would say the second three-peat Bulls. Then after that, I would probably go with one of the Larry Bird Boston squads, or one of the Showtime Lakers teams, or the Bad Boy Pistons squad, right? So that'll probably be my top five. Two Boston teams, Bill Russell, Bird, Jordan team, uh, a Larry Johnson and Kareem team, and Bad Boy Pistons. That's five. That's my top five. I don't know what order I got them in. I know I got Boston number one, but I don't know what order I got the rest of them in. And then after that, maybe number six would be. As a matter of fact, no, I'm capping. I'm capping. In the top five, I got to have the Warriors team with KD and Steph. So it'll probably be Boston, Bulls, Golden State, Boston again, and then Lakers. That's my top five. And then Bad Boy Pistons, and then um, probably the Pistons team. Oh shoot, man, I'm forgetting about Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Yo, that's tough, Aaron. I don't even know why you asked me that. Go ahead, Corey. I'm listening. That's the word. He is a scorer though. He's a scorer. Like I mean, what? Yeah, because but that's propaganda. That's just another way to make it more meaningful. Where you could be like, man, this dude ain't even a scorer, and he outscoring so and so, right? So that's just a flex, right? No, yeah, no, nobody in real life really thinks LeBron is not a scorer. You know what I'm saying? He's a scorer that just can pass like a freaking point guard. And not only can he pass like a point guard, he's willingly passing like a point guard, which is unique. I mean, the only person I can think of who passed as much as LeBron while also being a crazy scoring threat was probably Penny. I don't even think Magic was looking for his shot that much. He was, I mean, Magic was really pass first. He was looking for Kareem. He was looking for James Worthy. He was looking for Michael Cooper, right? And then he can go get his own points. So here, Magic can give you 19, but he'll give you 12 assists, right? And then sometimes when the game calls, because he can score when the game called for it, hey, I can give you 30 or 40. You get what I'm saying? Like that's different. But LeBron was like, no, I want to give you 30 every night, and I'm giving you a 10 assists, right? And the only way you can really do that is if the team is going to allow you to play point guard, right? Once you show a coach that you the best scorer on the team, they're not letting you run point guard in any era other than this one. Before this, if you wanted to be the primary scorer, somebody else was gonna play that point guard. I don't like, I would rather have my point guard racking up 10 to 12 assists and getting the team involved, and then you getting your because a great scorer can get his 30 without the ball, period. Like he don't need the ball to get his 30. Once he touch it, I need 3 seconds and probably two or three dribbles to get to a good shot. But now they changing it in this era to where I want the ball in the best player hand, and I want everybody to move out of his way, and I want him to take as much time off that shot clock as possible to try to get a layup or draw a double team. So they're getting all the assists and all the points. So I mean, that kind of inflates the numbers a little bit, but it is what it is. Aaron said, "So is Kobe not more polished than MJ?" It's a debate. It's really a debate. You can say that. You probably could say that. But like I was saying, if you heard what I was saying, MJ to me is the most complete player, and Kobe is second. But let's say Kobe is more complete than MJ. If he is, it's not by much. And then MJ actually kicks his butt on the resume. So when you put the two together, it's still MJ, right? So Right. No. MJ still got the highest vertical at recorded at combine, or not the combine, but the pre-draft. He still got the highest vertical. So no, that so yeah, not even that. What Kobe had over Michael Jordan for sure, is I think Kobe guarded smaller guards better than Mike, right? So on the ball defender, Kobe guarded smaller guards better. I think MJ guarded bigger people better. MJ was a little bit thicker than Kobe, and then Kobe had came in that Iverson era where the crossover and the handles was like a real big thing. So MJ had really basic handles, like you can't take the ball from me, you can't steal it from me. I'm gonna get by you. I only need one move. You know, my crossover is primitive almost and basic, but you can't stop it. Well, Kobe had street ball handling. Yeah, so I don't know if that makes him a better ball handler. That makes him a more I don't know, I guess more advanced ball handler. And then I think Kobe, even though the percentages are the same, I think Kobe shot the three better than Jordan. Right. So that's three things. On ball defense on smaller guards, shooting the three, and ball handling that I think Kobe had on him. Um, Michael Jordan had everything else. And then if you let Phil tell it, he said the only thing that he saw separated him from Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan had hands like the size of Kawhi. You know, like Michael Jordan had 7 foot center type hands. And he said Kobe had small hands. Like Kobe could barely palm the ball. And he said that was a big deal because Michael Jordan, you know, when he was dribbling, when he made his moves and his crossover, he was really palming the ball, and you didn't know it. He was just grabbing it and throwing it where he wanted to go. so, so MJ had some advantages and Kobe had some advantages, man. It's real close to, but you can have that conversation between Kobe and Mike. But when you get LeBron and Kobe, or LeBron and Mike, you just immediately start pointing out stuff that's like, dude, like how Mike shooting 89% free throws and you shooting 73? Like, dude, how are you robotic in the post with your feet? Right? How do you lead all time in turnovers? What, how did you get exposed in the finals by San Antonio and Dallas by them just backing off of you 6 feet and making you take jump shots? Like, how did that work? Why do you need the ball so much? And why do you need a screen to start the offense? You get what I'm saying? Just stuff like that, man. Why you can't pull up stop on a dime and pull up for a jump shot? You know, why did you have to go to Kareem for someone to pretend like you was practicing your post moves? Like, you know, just stuff like that, man. It's just so many holes. You're not having the same conversation with LeBron and you having with Kobe. Kobe's just a more complete player. Aaron said Oscar was complete. You ain't even seen Oscar play, man. Stop the cap. Stop the clap, man. Complete is not stuffing the stat sheets. That's not complete. You can stuff the stat sheets just by playing on a team that's going to allow you to stuff the stat sheets. Right? That don't mean you're complete. That mean you're stuffing the stat sheets. Oscar was good. He was a big guard. He could do a lot. He could pass. He could rebound. He could score. He could really score. I don't know what Oscar was as a defender, but I know him averaging those triple doubles never led to winning, and he had to join Kareem to get a ring. And when he joined Kareem to get a ring, guess what happened to his stats? They dropped. He was not getting triple doubles. He wasn't getting double-digit assists. His points went down, right? So that just goes to show you, like, dang, What do you value, stats or winning? Because it seems like some people can get stats if they're losing, but when they start playing winning basketball, their stats kind of drop. Michael Jordan, no matter what it was, he getting you 35 in the playoffs, and he winning, and he winning. Did you watch the game, man? Wow, you missed it, man. LeBron kids, both his boys had Jordans on the sideline. I thought that was interesting. Nah, I'm serious. I can't make this up. You think I'm joking, don't you? Why they do their daddy like that, man? Bro, he got shoes too. Just put your daddy shoes on. Look, Michael Jordan wouldn't even let, like, his son went to go play for Illinois, and they were sponsored by Adidas. And they had just got some new Adidas basketball shoes on for the team shoes. And Michael Jordan's son was like, I ain't putting them on my feet. And they suspended him a couple of games. They hit the news and everything. You don't remember that? Bro, and they made a big deal out of that. He almost had to get off the team, man. He was like, I'm not putting no Adidas on. He said, you know who my dad is, man? Why would I put his competitor shoes on? I don't care what y'all giving me. If y'all get, I don't know if he was on scholarship. He might have not been on scholarship, but I'm like, look, dude, like, I'm not putting no freaking Adidas on to go play no basketball. And he didn't put them on. He put his daddy shoes on and went out there. But here we get Bronny and Bryce sitting right there. I mean, like, not one of them. They both had Jordans on. and I and they told me Savannah had some Jordan cologne on. I'm like, yo, come on, this is going too far, man. Like, so you came to watch your daddy break the record, and you got MJ shoes on. I just thought that was funny, man. That was hilarious to me, man. That was hilarious. Land of Heartless said, so LeBron jacked up shots, but Kobe didn't. Double standard. No, Kobe. What you mean, LeBron? When did I say LeBron jacked up shots and Kobe didn't? Nah, I didn't say Kobe didn't jack up shots. I mean, how you make that different? I didn't say anything bad about LeBron jacking up shots. Ain't no wrong with jacking up shots. All the stars do it. Especially if you're the number one on your team, you go jack some shots up, depending on the offense you win. And contested shots at that. Contested shots at that. Um, let's see this comment. Kareem, MJ, Duncan, KD, Dr. J, Kobe, etc. would have remained on the court and won that game, but hey, standards and expectations aren't what they used to be. Uh, you know what? That's interesting, man. I can't even imagine. Like, think about this. We don't even have any moments like this for Michael Jordan. For him, Pat. The only moment like this we got for Michael Jordan is when he hit the game winner in the All-Star game when he was playing for the Wizards. And guess what happened? We like because we seen Michael Jordan hit that last shot at the buzzer to beat Utah in the finals, and then he retired. And we was like, this is exactly how you go out if you could make a movie about somebody. Like, this is textbook. Like, you can't even create that story. That's how good that was. He messed it up by coming back out of retirement and playing for the Wizards, right? But he had another opportunity to have his swan song and go out, and he playing in the daggone All-Star game. Of course, he got voted in by the coaches. He didn't get voted in by the fans. Vince Carter was voted in, and Vince Carter was like, "Man, this your last All-Star. Why don't you start?" And MJ was like, "No, man, no, you start. This is your first one." MJ didn't want it, man. He said, "I don't want the attention. This is supposed to be for y'all." And Vince Carter was like, "No, you got to start." So he started, got in the game. I think he played like the first 1 minute, 2 minutes, and he sat down and let Vince Carter come in and get his minutes. But the game went down to the wire, and MJ had daggone Sean Marion on his back in the post. Clock winding down. MJ hit him with that patent fade away buzzer beater. Game over. Except it was 2 seconds left on the clock. And this young kid, Kobe, in his first All-Star game, didn't even have no, not his first All-Star game. I'm sorry, not his first year, but didn't even have the common courtesy to say, "I'm gonna let MJ go out on top like this." Kobe, in his mindset, he thinks just like Jordan. He said, I'm about to steal the show." And he comes down, gets fouled shooting a 3-pointer, missed one free throw, made two. They go into overtime, and then Kobe put him away in overtime. Straight killer, man. You get what I'm saying? But that's it. That's all we got for MJ. For Kobe, we got his last game when he scored 60. That was a big. But for MJ, we don't have nothing. We just got finals. You just got him winning the finals. We ain't got no moments like, oh, he's breaking this record or he's breaking that record. Like, he broke records. We didn't even know he would pass people in school. It wasn't even celebrated. It was all about the championship for MJ. Right. Yeah, people forget about that decision, don't they? That decision was kind of whack, man. I know he regret that, man. Hey, just because I know that was kind of embarrassing, I'm not even gonna bring. I'm gonna help LeBron forget about that, man. I I ain't gonna bring it. The decision was cringeworthy, man. Landon Hartley said Kobe was taking 20 attempts a game and making 7 of them, but he wasn't jacking up shots. Nah, he was jacking up shots too. I'm not disputing that. Yeah, yeah, for sure. MJ more skilled offensively, yes. Better player. I guess you can say he's developed more skills than Bill. He's a better player. Michael Jordan's a better player than Bill Russell. I know you like the old school, Aaron, but yeah, Mike was better than Bill. You should really study Mike's game. I know you're only 19, Aaron, but you should really study Mike's game. They changed rules to help Jordan. They made rules against Wilt and Kareem. That's true. Um, Wilt and Kareem was playing in the era where they were so much better and so much more athletic and so much more physically gifted than everybody that if they didn't change the rules, Wilt and Kareem, well, for Kareem, they said you can't dunk anymore in college. And I don't know what that was about. You know, I guess he was making it so easy. He was just dunking everything. That was like, look, you got to do something else, man. So they banned the dunk for Kareem. For Wilt, man, they did all types of things. They changed the paint. I think the paint was smaller back then. They widened the paint. And, did a whole bunch of other stuff, man. Wilt, I learned this from Aaron, where I didn't know that minimal contact would get a whistle back then. So like the stuff that we see Shaq do or Dwight Howard do when they was in their prime and they just dribble and shoulder bump you and then dunk on you, like they was calling them offensive fouls on Wilt. So Wilt couldn't even use his size advantage the way he wanted to. So that's a fact. Wilt and Kareem had rules made against them. And the NBA, when Jordan was coming up, had just found out how marketable and how profitable it is to market a player, make them go global. So Michael Jordan did benefit from the NBA saying he's so good, the world needs to see him, and we gotta force Detroit and everybody else in the league to play real defense and stop playing football on the basketball court. So we're going to start calling those elbows to the mouth and those body slams and stuff like that. We're gonna make them play honest defense so we can see Michael Jordan get loose. And you're right. And ever since then, every player that's come in that was the best player in the league got the benefit of the whistle the way Michael Jordan did, because Michael Jordan was the blueprint on how to make money, and they did it with Kobe, then they did it with LeBron, and now they're going to start doing it with Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. It is that's just how the NBA makes their money. So, with that all being said, only thing you're telling me is that the NBA is a little bit rigged, and that goes for every modern day player, not just Jordan, not just Jordan. Yeah, Penny is cool. I'm just catching up to these comments. I was a Spurs fan. They were the Chaparrals. I don't even know what they mean. Dallas. Oh, that would okay. Well, I don't know. My Spurs are one of the top five. Which Spurs team is one of the top five? MJ the GOAT. I agree. I think everybody know that. But for the rest of this season, it's going to be a lot of LeBron is the GOAT, but it'll die down. And the debate go die down pretty soon. Kareem had to join him. Oscar was great. Yeah, Oscar was great. If you value, I hope you got John Havlicek in your top 15 at least. By reputation and what people say about John Havlicek, and by pulling up his stats, it's not that hard to put him. I don't know about top 15, but he's up there. However, honestly, I can't in good faith uh, compare players when for one of them all I have is stats and word of mouth, and for the other one I had stats, observation, word of mouth, full games, highlights, and I watched their entire career. Like that I mean, that's 100% not fair. Like I can't compare Havlicek to these players that played in the modern day. I've been watching basketball since maybe 1990, right? So from 1990 to now, I got that jump locked in my mind like a computer, right? Anything before that is I got to study it, but I can only study it probably going back to like maybe 80, right? So from 1980 to now, I'm good money. Anything before that, like how can I compare somebody from the 50s to now in good conscience? Like some people will really do that. Maybe they just like to debate, but for me, I'm like, man, I don't even know how to do that. Like, how can I do that? If I ask you for your resume right now and I say only thing I want on your resume is what you let's say just tell me what you went to school for, and that's it. And then I tell this other dude to give me his resume, and I want to know what you went for school for. I want to know your previous jobs. I want references. I want what skill sets you got, what certificates you got, what degrees you got. And I ask him for 15 things, and I ask you for 2 things. How is it fair for me to daggone choose a candidate that I'm gonna hire based on that? It's not fair. It's really not. I hope that makes sense. Right.
I mean, I was in the, I had like a football game in the fifth grade while I was at practice when the whole announcement came out when he retired with the AIDS thing, with HIV thing.
Yeah.
Um, I was young, but I mean, I'm talking about like when I was really able to watch the sport. I was probably, middle school, high school, and I started to understand it. And, that was right in the prime of the Jordan era. So, um,
I'm gonna tell you.
anybody in the past, like you start bringing up names from the 60s and 70s, man, I don't know that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what my friend just sent me a message and said. He said, "What 38-year-old able to play no injuries? HGH been on it for 10 years." He said, "Been on it for 10 years. Father time don't lie. All other 35 plus year olds don't have the juice to play 40 minutes. This N word is juicing. Not impressed with this record." The views that was just expressed by my friend does not reflect the views of Man Down Sports. Aaron Bridges said, "I copy a lot of Kobe actually." Let me ask you a question, Aaron. Why didn't you copy LeBron's game to add to your game? Why you didn't copy Wilt's game? Why did you copy Kobe's game? Who copied Michael Jordan? So why did you copy Michael Jordan game through Kobe and not LeBron's game? That's a good question. Why did you do it, Aaron? Hey, join the stream, man. Is the link I just dropped it in there, and then if you want to call, the show number is right here on the bottom left, 336-456-6453. I'll probably be on another 15 minutes, man. So I'll let y'all call in, give me y'all thoughts before I end this stream. LeBron just got the scoring title. Not the scoring title, but the scoring record of all time. Just broke Kareem's record. He's the guy now. A lot of people saying he the GOAT. I still don't think he the GOAT, but
Longevity.
longevity and from what my homeboy said, the juice. And he not talking about OJ.
Well, I mean, he could put it in some Moses. We don't know.
Yeah. You can't drop it in some OJ, man, with a little mimosa. He like his wine. Boy, these boys ODing. Boy, this gonna be funny tomorrow. Boy, I can't wait to see Man Down tomorrow when everybody hop on Facebook and
It's gonna be man down. Gonna be off the chain tomorrow.
hey, your boy Jason Kelly already on it, man. He fuming. Him and Skip Bayless ain't nobody posting more than Jason Kelly and Skip Bayless right now, boy. They does not like this, man. Man, y'all got huh?
It's just not. It's just not something that I'm just like, wow, congratulations. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, yeah, like, yeah, okay, you did it. I mean, you've been in the NBA for a really long time. Really, it's about time you did it. Like, it's been a while. But, I mean, it's cool, man. That's another thing that he can put. This is one of the things that is probably one of his goals, especially later on in his career. He accomplished that goal, man. Congratulations.
It's a yeah, congrats. It's a major flex. If anything, it's a major flex, man. Like how do you even dude, that's a flex, man. Like that's something and they say MJ is very competitive and they say, he's just addicted to winning. He can never come back and score enough points to catch LeBron. Like that's over. LeBron is always going to have the hang over his head. Like they can be at a dinner right now, and MJ can't flex on him as hard as he flex on everybody else because he can always say, "Hey, 38,000 or 40,000," because he probably will get 40, 41 before he retire. MJ can't catch that ever. I don't think nobody will catch it.
No, I mean, you have to play a really, really long time to catch it.
Yeah, and not get
Like he
hurt.
was.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That was a joke. That is only a joke.
What you talking about?
Everybody knows. I mean, I'm just
You talking about him juicing?
But yeah, man, it's just to me, man, it's just not that big of a
Yeah, I mean
not that big of a deal.
either he really blessed, or he had some help. Who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is he ain't never popped on no test. So I mean,
No, but I mean, Barry Bonds never talked about this either.
that's
I mean,
true.
his hat size went from 67 8 as a rookie to
And who you think what record you think is more impressive? The home run record, um, Emmett Smith. What do Emmett Smith got, the yards and touchdowns, or just yards? Just yards. So the Emmett Smith yards, Barry Bonds home runs, Tom Brady got passing touchdowns and yards, or LeBron scoring. It is longevity. That's true.
I've never seen anybody. These are Cowboy fans included. I've never seen anybody say that Emmitt Smith was the best running back of all time.
Nobody. Nobody. Everybody easily say Barry Sanders is what in his own era was head and shoulders above him.
Ooh.
Absolutely,
Emmitt Smith.
because it's
Uh,
just the truth. And Emmett had. I mean, this is Emmett and Barry Sanders is almost identical to LeBron James and Michael Jordan. It's almost identical.
Almost, except all the winning was going to Emmett and MJ.
Right. But then that's the only thing, and that's exactly what I was saying, except for the winning, right?
Right.
Emmett never had. Uh, Emmett had trucks and had holes that you could drive trucks.
that don't mean nothing, bro. The Jordans don't mean nothing, bro.
What anybody say nothing, Aaron?
Don't mean nothing. Bro, this is gonna be like, this is why Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Like, bro, like,
Ain't nobody say nothing, man.
ain't
Nobody
nothing, bro.
said that. Ain't nobody say nothing. I'm just chilling, man. What do you mean?
So what happens? What happens if Michael Jordan? What happens if Michael Jordan somewhere the Bronze? They're gonna say,
Michael Jordan's sons probably would never wear LeBrons. Like I just don't foresee that happening.
hmm.
I know
Yeah.
Michael Jordan look at his son's game. They'll just say something random.
They'll tell something. Look, hey,
Well, I can't really hear.
Bronny once said that MJ was the GOAT. And when they asked him, they're like, "Man, who's like MJ, man?
Bro, it don't
MJ's the
matter,
GOAT."
bro. It don't matter. Like, it don't. That's Bronny
It don't
James.
it don't matter, but I mean that's pretty telling.
But I thought, remember one time, I brought up a fact that like so and so mentioned that which game was ago. You're like, oh, whoa, you can't really count that because he was just trying to give honor to the people in the past. Well, Bronny, you know what I'm saying? Bronny's trying to just trying to get honor to people in the past.
That's why I said it don't matter. I said it's just very telling.
How's it telling if it don't matter?
It's very telling that they won't even cap for their daddy. It's just, I mean, I'm just not gonna cap for them. I'm just like
That don't
seriously.
make no sense, bro. That
MJ.
makes no sense. That's contradictory. Hey, yo, can I share something real quick? Share something?
Not no man. You can't put nothing on screen.
It's a 1 minute. It's 1 minute. It's 1 minute
No,
long.
no, I don't want to see nothing on screen. It's tell me what it is you want to tell me.
Uh, there's a lot of players more complete than Michael Jordan, I would say. In terms of
Yeah, I think Kyrie is more complete than Michael Jordan.
what nigga? No, not him by
Yeah,
any measure.
yeah.
And maybe
Kyrie's more, no,
offensively
Kyrie's more well on
on the
more
scoring end, yeah.
more complete on the offensive end, not defense.
Not even entirely
Yeah,
off the
but yeah,
scoring, maybe.
but Aaron, you got to remember this. We're talking about so all right. Put it this way: if we're comparing two guys, and I'm telling you why one guy is better, is it you can't take what I say. If I say the guy is better than LeBron because of X, Y, and Z, What your argument would be is, well, let me go find somebody who's better at X, Y, and Z than Michael Jordan is.
That's not. That's not what
That's
I'm
basically
saying.
what you just said.
No, you said
I said Michael Jordan and Kobe are more complete players than LeBron, and then you said,
no, he's
but
not. Michael Jordan. Oh,
and you said, well, it's some players that's more complete than MJ. All right, well, that's cool, and I understand that. I didn't say, well, hold on.
what's
What
your definition of complete is what I'm trying to figure out, bro.
I
Because
explained that.
look, what takes more skill? Getting to your spot with one or two moves, or dribbling like Kyrie and getting, you know what I'm saying? Getting to a specific spot, one or two moves, one move, two moves, or dribbling like Kyrie in and out between legs behind and back, getting to the same exact spot that a person did with one or two moves. What's more skillful?
And you just asked me a question about completeness, and then you remixed it to skill.
You is that not the same thing?
No,
If you have all around skill, does that not make you a more complete player than somebody who doesn't have all around skill?
that's not what
Right.
I'm talking about. When I say complete, when I
You can't really say all around skill, and then the only thing that you just said is that he was a better
uh,
dribble.
let me explain it to him, Corey. So completeness means lacking nothing and has no holes. So if I say you're a complete scorer, that means in all the ways you can score, you have mastered it, right? So if you can name all the ways you can score, you can score with the ball, and it's 5 or 6 different ways you can score with the ball, and then you can score without the ball, and it's 5 or 6 ways you can score without the ball. Then you can score at all level, inside, mid, long, free throw, fast break, half court. Like when I say complete, that's what I mean.
So what about when somebody has a complete overall game?
That don't even make sense. Overall means offense and defense.
So you can't be a complete offensive and defensive player.
Name a person that's a more complete player than Michael Jordan.
I can barely hear him.
I said name a player that's more complete player than Michael Jordan.
What do you say?
He said, name a player that's more complete than Michael Jordan.
I can name players that are just as complete. It's based off of your definition of complete, right? Because I can name look, for example, before I answer that question, I could name a player. I could describe a player, right? Say he's averaging 5 in every category, right? Besides turnovers or whatever. Like he's averaging 5 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, five
What?
assists. Just listen,
Okay.
right?
All
And
right.
then I have a player that's averaging 20 points, but the rest is he only averaging like 2 or 1. You know what I'm saying? So who's more complete? Like my point being, if somebody has a category in their game in which they exceed like overly exceed the other person who's like good at something, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
You don't measure completeness by stats.
So you're basing it based off of how they dribble the ball and how
No,
their
no,
options.
I'm basing it by observations. And everybody can't do that, Aaron. Everybody can't watch the game and be
No, I
like,
watch. Look. I watch MJ and I say, oh yeah, he's a complete.
I'm looking at something and I know what I'm looking at. Everybody can't do that. Most people have to go to the stats to explain. They need the numbers to explain to them what they just watch. Like
I think
they watch Michael Jordan play and be like, I don't know what it is I just watched. Let me go to the stats. Oh, he scored 40. Okay, he's a great scorer. Like most people can watch Michael Jordan and see how great he is
yeah.
without going to the score sheet.
I think look.
Right, right. Hold on. So when I'm talking about completeness, I'm talking about I observed his game, I analyzed his game, I studied his game, and out of all the teams and players I've watched play, I haven't seen anyone more complete offensively as Michael Jordan,
So
and he was also a complete defensive player as well. When you put that together with his resume, it turns into, hey man, he's probably the best player we've seen.
so
And
basically it boils down to who has more moves.
nope,
Who has more moves and who can score on all 3 levels with the
nope,
most moves.
nope. That's not what I
Because
said.
That's what Kyrie is. That's what Kyrie is compared to Michael Jordan.
That's not what I said.
Because Michael Jordan's a better scorer, but Kyrie has more moves and he scores efficiently on all 3 levels compared to Michael Jordan.
Nope, that's not what I said.
Then what did you say? Then that's basically what you said.
I just
He's
said
the,
Michael Jordan was the most complete player I ever seen.
so how's he? So how's Kyrie more complete than him on offense?
I retract my statement on that. You kind
Because
of
I
got
know
me lost. You kind of got me lost in the sauce with some of your questions, and I didn't even know what I was saying. So, but yeah, Michael Jordan's the most complete player I've seen because he got it all on offense and all on defense as well. Kyrie is not complete defensively.
so. All right. So the reason, but the thing is, the reason you said that he was complete as a scorer or offensively is because his worst option or thing was that he was average. He was an average 3-point shooter, right?
I did say that.
That he was that's the reasoning.
I
So
said I, I
everything
said I
else was
said
elite
I
though.
said he did everything elite on
Elite
offense
on offense.
except shoot threes, but
All right.
he did that
So
average.
if it's everything elite on offense except through threes, then Oscar Robinson's in the conversation. Oscar Robinson was an elite jump shooter. He was an elite finisher. He was an elite offensive rebounder. He was an elite passer. You know what I'm saying? And if you are being true to what you said, then if you're being true to what you said, but you disagree with what I just said, then that means you're talking about the moves they use to get to their spots.
No, no.
So,
So
so then
if
you agree that Oscar Robinson
hold
is
on, hold on. Let me say this and then let you go, Corey. So I'm gonna see how much he was listening to me when I told you that when I do this observation, it's based on modern day players because those are the ones I studied the most from the start of their career to the end.
I
So I
studied
said,
Michael Jordan too.
so I said from 80 to now, I'm good money. Let me ask you a question: was Oscar playing in the 80s?
No,
Okay, so as far as me observing his entire career to actually have a good handle on how complete he was, it's not going to be there like it is for these modern players. So I did say that. You did hear me say that, right?
just no. Yeah, I wasn't paying
Okay,
attention.
all right. So basically, you are judging Oscar's completeness based on his stats.
No, I'm not. I've seen him play. I've seen full games with Oscar Robinson. I've seen him use a triple threat. I've seen him pass driving dishes. I've seen him pass up behind his back, do behind the back. I've seen him throw lob passes. I've seen him take the jumper. I've seen him take jumpers out to 22 feet consistently. I've seen a 6'5" point guard, 225, 230 pounds, muscle through people. They didn't. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know how they didn't call it, but I've seen bodies literally bounce off of him as he was finishing at the rim. I've seen his hand get as high as the top of the square on a block shot attempt.
Okay, so all right, so let's do this. Put Oscar in the conversation. Now, how he is he on defense?
He's solid. I'm talking
Solid.
about.
No,
I'm
is he
talking about.
elite?
But he's not.
No? Is he elite on defense?
No,
All right, so he's already out of the conversation again.
no, he's not. Well, is Michael Jordan?
No,
Hold on, okay,
listen.
but is Michael Jordan an elite
No,
rebounder?
stop it. Michael is elite offensively and complete offensively, and he's elite defensively and
Is he?
complete.
Is
So
Michael, is Michael Jordan an elite playmaker?
wait.
Hold on.
If it's two sides to basketball, offense and
Yeah.
defense, Michael Jordan is elite at both.
Okay.
You're never going to have a player that's elite at just one of them in the conversation with him. They're already out.
All right. So look. Let's compare. Let's compare.
No. Wait.
Hold
Deal
on.
with it. No,
Look,
deal with it. Does that make sense though, Aaron? Does that
that
make sense?
that makes sense, but you're not getting the full picture though. Let's compare skill to skill, right? Jump shooting. You could based off your knowledge, you would say Michael Jordan, right?
I'm giving you the nod for offense. That's a wash. You
All
said
right.
you saying I don't agree, but you're saying Oscar is equal to MJ offensively. Got it. Now
In terms of
let's talk about the other side of the ball.
what about
It's,
playmaking? What about playmaking?
let's give it all to Oscar.
All right.
Offense, Oscar, right?
Okay.
Oscar and MJ both are elite offensively.
All
Then
right.
you go defense. Only one of them is elite defensively, so Oscar automatically is out.
That doesn't make
Next,
any sense. That doesn't make any
it does
sense.
make sense.
No, it doesn't. If you averaging 30 and 10 compared to somebody who's averaging 30 and 5, if you're averaging 30, 10 and 10, right? And you can't talk about stats. You can't talk like I'm trying to paint a picture for you so you can so because you didn't watch him play. So I'm trying to that's the only way I can use I have to use stats. So if you're watching, if you have a player that's dropping 30 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds on 50% shooting and 85% from the line. You know what I'm saying? Comparative to a person that's dropping 35, 5 and 5, who with elite defense compared to the other person who has solid defense, it's pretty much even. It's pretty much
No,
pretty
it's
much
not.
equal production. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no.
Five more assists, five
No,
more rebounds.
you trying to judge a player based on just stats, and you can't do
You
that.
can't, but you can't judge Oscar because you never saw him. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the only.
Listen, Aaron. Oscar, when he averaged 30 and 10 or 25 and 10 or whatever he averaged, he was not winning.
Name a player who he had around him.
Aaron,
When
he was not winning. Averaging that much assists and that much points in one guy is usually a red flag for your team.
and that's why Michael Jordan was
If
getting drafted in the
if you
first
got
round for the
if you
playoffs.
got one player doing that, then it's a telltale sign that they're playing bad basketball.
What was Michael Jordan?
So you can't validate somebody's skill set by them getting stats while playing bad basketball, and you got the guy playing good basketball and saying, I'm going to let Scottie Pippen get the assist, and I'm going to run this triangle offense, and I'm just going to score and defend. And then you
So,
turn around and say, well, he only averaged 5 assists, so that means
so
somebody
what's
was better than him offensively. No, I'm choosing not to average 10 assists. If Michael
what's
Jordan
the
wanted to average 10 assists, he would.
no, you wouldn't. What's first of all, hold on. What's the difference? What's the difference between Oscar giving up the reins to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was who was arguably the best player in the league as soon as he touched the floor, arguably top 5 best players in the league as soon as he touched the floor, compared to MJ taking a step back and letting Scottie take a more ball handler facilitator role. When Michael Jordan was averaging 33, 8 and 3 steals in a block, was he winning? No,
Nope.
he was playing losing basketball. So
Of course. That's why he
so
stopped doing it, Aaron.
that's why he
You
stopped
making my
doing it
point for you
when he
making my
had to
point
play.
for me.
Hold on.
You
Name a
making
player.
my point for me.
No, I'm not. Name a player.
You making my point for me.
Over the first 6 years of Oscar Robinson's career, he averaged a triple double. Name one player besides
You
Wayne Embry
you
that he had
making
beside.
you making my point
Name
for
one.
me.
Name one player. Name one player.
You making my point for me.
Name a player. Name a player that Oscar
You
Robinson
making my point for
besides
me.
Kareem. Name a player.
That doesn't validate
Name
anything you're trying
one
to say.
player. Name
That
one
doesn't
player.
that doesn't validate anything you're trying to say.
Name one. Okay, just name one player then.
That's not validating
Just
anything
name
you're
one
trying to say.
player. Just name one player.
I don't want to name no player.
You can't. You
Okay.
can't.
So what's the
You
point?
can't. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because he had. Do you know why? Do you know why?
Yeah, tell me why.
Because he had no help until he had Kareem.
All
So
right.
when he
So
got
keyword,
Kareem, he took
Aaron,
a step back.
keywords. Had no help. I want you to remember those 2 words, right? Or those 3 words. Had no help. Remember that. And then
Relative to the
so
teams that were winning, no.
wait. Had no help. And I'm going to name you some players that also had those same words uttered about them. LeBron James, they say he had no help. Luka Doncic had no help. Westbrook had no help. Harden had no help. All those guys averaged triple doubles. What they got in common with hold on, what do they all have in common? They all average triple doubles. They all do too much for their team, and everybody says the reason why they're not winning because they didn't have no help. And none of that was true. They had plenty of help.
But you can name the players on their team that quote unquote helped them.
Yeah,
Can you
because
name, can you name
I was a grown up watching them when they went and watching their whole career.
all right. So that means since you don't know a lot about Oscar Robertson or the 60s basketball at all or 70s basketball at all, you can't.
I do know a lot. I do know a lot about Oscar. I don't know as much as I know about modern day because it's not possible. It's not possible for me to know.
You can't name one player that Oscar Robertson played with besides Kareem.
It's not important to me.
Just name one.
It's not important to me.
You can't name one player.
I can't even. I can't even name no player that was on Kareem's team with Oscar. I'm not studying it.
That's what I asked. I said you can't name one player that besides Kareem that Oscar played with.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back and look at that roster. I know none of them dudes. I don't know them. We know the greats from the 70s and beyond. We know the greats. We know the Hall of Famers, right? Right now. Hold on. Right now, it's a guy named Sumner on the Brooklyn Nets team. Do you think what was the 70s for us? All right, so there's 30, 50 years from now. Do you think somebody's gonna remember Sumner's name, or do you think they're gonna remember KD and Kyrie?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly what I'm saying.
But guess
That's
what?
the point that I'm making.
But guess what though? Sumner can hoop. So for you to say that he had no help and he had nobody, what you're saying is he didn't have another superstar on his team, and people equate that to not having help.
Nick, can you Nick,
That's the most ridiculous argument ever
can
made.
you name a
But hold
player
on, but hold
besides
on, but so
Elijah
look,
Brown?
so you're not gonna take me down this rabbit hole, right? So this is how this conversation started. The conversation started with me saying Michael Jordan is a complete player, a more complete player than my LeBron James, and you came and introduced Oscar into the conversation and said Oscar was as complete or more complete than Michael Jordan. And I just explained to you it's impossible because we both give them a grade of elite on offense. And
Ev-
then only stop it. We both gave them a grade of elite on offense. And then when you go to defense, only one of them is elite. By math, two is better than one. I'm elite at both ends of the basketball, and you elite at one end of it. It's a no-brainer. How are you
if
arguing this?
I'm arguing because Oscar is just as efficient. He averages
I
more
don't care about
assists.
that. It's a
He averages more
no-brainer.
assists, bro.
Michael Jordan was a better defender, and he was an elite defender. It's
But
over.
it's not. Hold
It's
on.
over.
How is it
Listen,
over? Oh look,
do you know
let's
what value?
compare.
You know what valuable mean? You know what valuable mean?
So look.
Wait,
You're
no. Do
saying
you know what valuable mean?
yes.
Okay, so Michael Jordan was valuable to his team at an elite level on offense and defense.
Okay, what about rebounding?
Oscar was valuable on offense.
What about rebounding?
Michael was valuable as a rebounder as well.
Was he more valuable than Oscar?
Yes,
Bro. How?
he was.
How?
You can say
I've seen Oscar get putbacks over
because
Wilt Chamberlain.
because the rebounds Michael Jordan got led to wins. That's what made him more valuable. The rebounds that Oscar got the rebounds that Oscar got only led to his stats.
That's not
It
true.
didn't lead to rings.
That's not
You,
bro.
you can't validate anything. I can tell you right now. Listen, if I told you right now I worked 80 hours this week and I came home with $0, and then Corey worked 40 hours and came home with $700.
But you're an idiot.
Whose time was validated by actually equating to something? Your time was a waste. So when you put up your 30 and 10 and lose, it's not validated. You have to win to validate what you did.
So a player's individual greatness can be measured by their team success.
It's one of the data points, yeah. Because that's the goal that you're trying to do. You're not trying to achieve stats, you're trying to achieve wins.
You act like he wasn't winning games.
Listen, we want to win. Here's my best player. Can you get us wins? And your best player is telling you, I probably can't get you the wins, but I can get you some stats. Are you cool with that?
That's not what Oscar did.
No. Are you cool with that? If Michael Jordan and Oscar is in your office right now asking for the job of best player of your franchise, and Oscar is telling you I can get you 30 and 10 with no rings, and Mike is saying, hey, I can get you some rings, whatever it takes. Which one are you taking?
Bro.
Answer that question. You got Oscar and Mike in your office right now. They're interviewing for the job of the best player of your franchise. One is telling you I can get you 6 rings. One is telling you I can get you 30 and 10. Which one do you want?
Michael didn't get 6 rings by himself, though.
Which one do you want? Do you want the 30 and 10 or do you want the rings?
I want rings, but Michael didn't get rings by himself.
Case
Michael had Dennis Rodman.
Case closed.
That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Case closed.
That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard, bro. That has to be top 5 worst takes that I've ever heard.
Case closed. You just made more argument for me.
No, I didn't.
You're trying to validate stats. That's not how it works, brother. And that's why everybody keeps saying, oh, because LeBron James got the scoring record, that means he's the best player we ever seen. He's still not the best player we ever seen. The stats don't validate that. Stats don't form conclusions.
He has 4 rings. That's not enough.
Stats don't form conclusions. You watching a player play tells you what it really is, and then you use stats to help validate what your eyes just showed you.
So in your logic, since stats don't validate conclusions, Bill Russell was better than Michael Jordan.
Nope.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, bro. If stats don't validate conclusions, then Bill Russell's better than Michael Jordan.
I said
his
stats.
whatever he
I
did,
said stats don't form conclusions.
whatever he you said validate. Whatever he did on his Celtic teams, whatever stats he was producing, whatever impact he had on his teams was the reason as the best player. He led those teams to 11 rings, eight straight in a row. You know what I'm saying? So that means Bill Russell, in your logic, is better than Michael Jordan. You would rather have Bill Russell than Michael Jordan.
If Bill Russell was gonna get me 11 rings,
If Bill Russell was gonna block 10 shots, get you 20
no.
rebounds, 10 points.
Forget the stats. If the results was I'm gonna win 11 times, then I want to win. I want to win 11.
You want Bill Russell over Michael Jordan.
But no, Michael Jordan's a better player than Bill Russell.
Say you want. I'm not. Just say. But Bill Russell obviously has more impact on winning.
If you can promise me the results of 11 rings, whoever is getting me 11 rings is who I want.
So Bill Russell. You want Bill Russell over Michael Jordan?
No, I want Michael Jordan over Bill Russell because Bill Russell is not a better player than Michael Jordan.
That makes
Michael
no
Jordan,
sense. That makes no sense. You can't have it both ways.
Michael Jordan is a better player than Bill Russell.
Rings,
but that's obvious. We're not even get when you're comparing. Listen, when you compare Michael Jordan and Bill Russell, you don't even get to the rings because you already find out Michael Jordan's a better player. Like it don't get past the eye test with Michael and Bill.
It's a wash on defense for Bill Russell.
It's not a wash. It's not a wash.
It is a wash. Michael Jordan can guard centers and Michael Jordan can guard centers. Michael Jordan guard everybody in the league when he was in the league.
That don't even make sense.
Can Michael Jordan guard 1 through 5?
So look, this is how basketball works, Aaron.
Can Michael Jordan guard 1 through 5? Yes or no?
You don't need to guard 1 through 5.
Can if you had to switch on to if Michael Jordan had to switch on to the center.
No, listen. In basketball, everyone guards their man.
That's not true. No, what?
Aaron,
what?
Listen.
I play basketball. What are you talking about? You don't heard of a zone?
Whoever you guard, you need to be able to lock down.
All right. So can Michael Jordan lock down or put defensive pressure on the likes of Hakeem?
Of course not.
Kareem?
No.
Will Chamberlain?
No.
Then what are we talking about? So it's a wash defensively because Bill Russell guarded.
It's not a wash.
Bill Russell guarded 1 through 5. You guard
your man. You guard your man.
Bill Russell guarded everybody. He blocked everybody. He stole the ball from everybody.
I don't care about him block. If you're a 7 foot, if you're a big man, you're supposed to block shots. That's what you're down there for. You block shots. That's your job.
10 shots a game.
But that's your job. But when you're on the perimeter, your job is not to let nobody get in the paint. And Michael Jordan did that.
And Bill Russell did that plus some.
Y'all got to stop with this guard 1 through 5. We talk about LeBron guarding 1 through 5, and he ain't guarding none of them at an elite level, and he ain't guarding no elite 5s, 4s, and 3s. Or no 1s. He's not guarding elite players. So I don't care. I don't care if you can guard average 1 through 5s. Michael Jordan, you could throw him on the greatest, whoever the best 2 guard was. You can put Michael Jordan on.
Same thing with Bill Russell. I believe.
Okay, so that's why it's not a wash. They're both great.
It isn't, but you can't put Michael Jordan on the best. You can't put Michael Jordan on the best center and expect.
You're not supposed to, dude.
Okay, you're not supposed to put a 7-footer on the best 2 guard, but you had no problem with me saying that, right? But the fact that Bill Russell makes you cry a little bit.
I never said that.
You are tearing up right now as we speak.
I never said that.
Bro. Bill Russell defensively. First of all, you look at the defensive win shares.
Yeah, he said he gonna put Bill Russell on Iverson. Look, so let's do this. So
can you put Michael Jordan on Iverson?
It's not.
He got crossed up.
Yeah, he got 1 play and they won the game.
One play?
And they won the game.
Bro, I watched the whole game. I think Iverson had like 34 that game. He scored like 9 times on Jordan. I don't think Jordan stopped him once actually. Anytime Michael Jordan was guarding him, nigga, he not stopping once. So what are we talking about? Look. Nobody can really stop an elite offensive player. You feel me? Nobody. You can certainly slow him down and add some bumps in the road, but who adds the most bumps? Bill Russell. Easily. Bill Russell.
You finished?
I just think it's the watch defensively, bro. Like I don't know how you could argue that.
This is
You
what
look
you're
at the
doing, right?
rebounds, you look at the block shots, you look at the stat, you look at
This,
everything. You look at the
hey,
way he plays defense.
this is what you're doing, and we go in the stream real quick. But this is what you're doing. Conversation started with MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
Because you keep moving the goalposts, bro.
You went to Oscar, you went to Bill, you
This
went
is
to
what
Will.
you're doing, bro. You
You
kept
all over.
moving the goalposts.
Ain't nobody moving no goalposts, man.
Yes, bro. I was like,
You keep
Oscar's more
you
complete.
trying to
You're like,
equivalent.
well, Michael Jordan is better defensively. I was like, well, Oscar's better playmaker and rebounder. You're like, well, it doesn't matter because MJ's a better defender, so it doesn't matter. So blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, all right, no. Then he was like, what did you say? You said, "Oh yeah, it doesn't even matter if he averages more assists because he didn't win." I was like, "All right, so if we're talking about impact on winning, then Bill Russell is better than MJ." You're like, "Nah, because MJ was a better player." Yeah,
You want to know how we know MJ is the best player that the NBA ever had?
I know you're gonna say already
Because when you start comparing him to people, the conversation goes to
from
every
player to
great.
player to player to
It
player. You
goes.
know
It
why?
goes. You compare every
You know
great. You go
why?
from Wilt.
Because MJ
You go from
hands.
Wilt. Hold on. You go to Wilt, Russell, Kobe, Oscar, LeBron, Hakeem,
So people want
Duncan.
people want to
To actually win a debate against Michael Jordan, you have to include
people
every
weren't
top 10
compare
player.
people weren't comparing against
You have to
Wilt
include
either.
every top 10 player.
What, bro? People were
You,
comparing this against Wilt. Oh, Michael
bro,
Jordan dropped 60 points. Remember
listen,
last time, like Wilt. Oh, he dropped 40 rebounds, like Wilt. Like you hear that
listen.
all the time, bro. But
Hey,
you're not
Corey,
gonna bring that up.
Corey, tell me if this sound familiar.
You an MJ fan?
Tell me if this sound familiar. I say MJ is a good scorer. You bring up Wilt, and then I say he's a good defender.
You bring up Wilt.
You bring up
You bring up
Russell.
Wilt.
You bring up
Wilt.
Russell, right?
You bring up Wilt.
I say MJ is a good winner. You bring up Russell. If I say MJ is a good leader, you bring up LeBron. Like all of these players are put together is MJ. That's how we know he's a GOAT, man. Go ahead.
That's literally the dumbest take.
But that's what you just did.
That's not what I just did though. You kept moving the goalposts.
I ain't moved nothing.
So when I brought up Oscar being a superior rebounder, superior playmaker, you were like, oh no, I'm just actually a superior rebounder, a superior playmaker. And I was like, how the hell is that? And you're like, oh, because when he rebounded, when he playmaker, he won. When he got the rebound, when he got the 5 less rebounds, it actually helped his team win. What? When he got the 5 less assists, it helped his team win. Huh? When he scored at the same efficiency rate, it helped his team win. What? Doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
When it don't make sense to you?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense because you keep moving
Aaron,
the goalposts. Hold on.
Aaron, do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this last example before we go. Have you ever had a manager? Put it this way. Let's say I manage a store, right? Have you ever heard of a micromanager before?
Yeah.
Micromanager means
Yeah.
you're supposed to be delegating jobs to all of your teammates or your co-workers, but you don't trust them enough to delegate it to them, so you do all of them. So you have a manager that opens the store, he counts the register, he takes the money to the bank, he closed the store, he mops the floor, he do all of these things, and he's just really just working circles around all his co-workers and enabling them. Right? That's what micromanaging is. That's a sign of a bad leader. So on the basketball court, it's always a sign and a red flag when
Michael
your
Jordan
best
did the same thing, bro.
when your bet he did do the same thing, and then he stopped doing it because
Because
he
Phil
realized
Jackson, Scottie
he
Pippen,
realized it wasn't good basketball. So when you have your best player
he was taught.
accumulating all of these stats, that means he's doing all the important roles on offense, and his teammates are just standing there just watching. Right? That's always a red flag. So when you see high usage rate, high points per game, high points, high assists, and then especially the high rebounds, because if you're guarding the best player on defense, you're not even going to be in the position to get most of those rebounds. Imagine that. Imagine all the players that don't play defense. Notice that they got a lot of rebounds. Westbrook, James Harden, Luka, They get a lot of rebounds because they're never guarding the best player. And
Oscar was guarding the players though.
stop. They're never guarding the best player, and they're always freelancing on defense, and they can run down and track down loose ball rebounds, right? So when you see that 30, 10, and 10, it's always a red flag. Watch it for over usage of a player, and Luka has the highest usage rate in the league and probably in history right now. That's not a good thing. People think just because it gives you a lot of stats that it's good, but if you really know basketball, you know that's not good. How would you like it if I did everything and you just had to sit there and watch me on offense? How would you like playing with me?
Like Michael Jordan?
No, be honest. Be honest. If I was the point guard, right? If I was the point guard and I brought the ball up court and the offense ran through me, so I'm running the offense through myself. How would that feel if you had capabilities of doing stuff too? Especially if you're a point guard like Bronson. Bronson was a point guard, and he couldn't even play point guard because of Luka. Kyrie was a point guard in Cleveland. He couldn't play point guard because of LeBron. CP3 was a point guard in Houston, and he couldn't play point guard because of James Harden. Rondo was a point guard in LA and couldn't play point guard because of LeBron. How does it feel if you're a pure point guard and you have all the attributes of a good point guard, but you got to play shooting guard because the best player who's going to take all the shots is also getting all the assists? How would you feel about that?
I would feel like Orlando Woolridge on the 1984-1985 Chicago Bulls.
Orlando Woolridge is not a point guard.
I didn't say he was a point guard. You said, how would I feel if somebody was taking all the shots and I'm just watching them on offense? That's what you asked.
I asked him, how would you feel as a pure point guard if you couldn't play point guard?
That wasn't your first question. That was your second
question. That was. How would you feel as a pure point guard if you couldn't play point guard?
I'd be like, what am I here for?
Exactly. So how do you think Bronson felt last year with Luka? How do you think CP3 felt with Harden? How do you think Rondo felt with LeBron? How do you think anybody felt?
They probably felt like, man, I wish I had a Phil Jackson and a Scottie Pippen.
You don't even have to have Phil Jackson to know that that's bad offense. All you gotta do is study Phil Jackson and say, well, Phil wouldn't do that. I don't want to do it. Mike wouldn't do that. Like you literally can study the old school.
It took Mike like 6 years to learn not to do that though.
Okay, and it took LeBron never to do it. It took Oscar never.
But he won while doing it.
With a super team. He couldn't win without a super team. He had to stack the deck.
What did MJ have, bro? This has to be, bro. Are you pranking me right now? Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman is on a super team?
No.
Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, bro.
No. Are you telling me Dennis Rodman is a superstar? What team has Dennis Rodman led as a number one?
I think Dennis Rodman.
How many points did Dennis Rodman have?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
No, do you know what a superstar is?
Impact and rebounding.
No, do you know? Okay, well that makes Tristan Thompson a superstar because he got as much rebounds as Rodman did.
But as I said, defensive impact and rebounding.
And Tristan Thompson defense too. So that makes Draymond a superstar.
Draymond is not nowhere near as good as rebounder, in my opinion.
Is he a superstar?
He is impactful.
They don't make him a superstar, dude.
But it makes him a crazy impactful player, bro.
Dude, he's not a superstar.
Right.
You can be impactful and not be a superstar.
We gotta continue this later, bro, because you keep moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving the goalposts. You're the one asking these questions.
I'm asking, bro. You're giving me prompts that are causing me to ask these questions or causing me to answer in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You're giving me prompts. Like you move the goalpost from point A to point Z, then back to H, then to Y, and then to number 4, and then like you just talk about zebras for an hour, and then you say that's why Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Like, bro, none of what you said really makes any sense. You can't give the exception of Michael Jordan. Oh, well, he was just an average 3-point shooter, and then be like, oh, LeBron's free throw percentage is average for his position.
No. LeBron's free throw percentage is below average. It's trash.
First position. No, it's not.
For a wing player, that's trash of free throw shooting. He shoots free throws like Rondo. He's on pace. He's on Rondo level with free throws.
Oh my god, bro!
And he's on Kurt Thomas pace in the post.
You have too many caveats, bro. It's just you have too many conditions. You have too conditions that you don't also put on Michael Jordan, which
That,
is crazy as fuck.
because I've studied this and thought this out,
I've
and I
studied
have
Michael Jordan as well.
and I have criterias for everything. That's why I know what a superstar is and I know what a super team is. You think a superstar is anybody that's good? That's not a
No,
superstar. Dennis
I
Rodman was
I didn't
never
say Dennis
Dennis
Rodman
Rodman was
was a
never a
superstar. But it's a
superstar.
super team. If you have all the right pieces
Hold
working
on,
together in
hold on.
conjunction,
In
that's a
order to
super.
build, in order to build a super team, you need superstars. Have you ever seen a super team without a superstar?
Was Michael Jordan a superstar?
Yes, Michael Jordan was a superstar,
Was
but how
Scottie
many?
Pippen an All
What?
Star?
How many teams? I said
Was
superstars, not
Dennis
all
Rodman not
stars.
a Defensive Player of the Year?
I said superstars. How
What
many?
the hell, bro?
How many teams have a superstar on it?
The teams that win. The
How
teams
many
that
teams have a superstar? Right, like currently, right now in the NBA, I think it's 10 superstars. So
I
you
said
telling me? So you telling me every team with a superstar is a super team?
that's not what I'm saying. If you have
No,
all
no. What
look,
makes you a
oh
super?
my
No, what
god,
make right now? If I took a men's basketball team in the NBA and put them in the WNBA, they would be a super team. Super team depends on the gap or the advantage you have over other teams. So if it's normal, if it's normal to have a superstar on your team, then
bro.
having one superstar don't make you a super team.
They had
What
three
what what
defensive
what makes
year
what
level
makes you a super
players.
what makes you a super team is when you have an overwhelming amount of superstars, and overwhelming amount of superstars is three superstars in their prime.
That no, bro. What, bro? That doesn't mean that doesn't. Oh my god.
That's exactly what a super team is. Three superstars in their prime. Three superstars in their prime.
So Chris Bosh is a superstar to you,
Yes.
bro. I can't, bro. I can't. Why? Why do you
Chris
do
Bosh
this?
was a superstar. He
He was
led.
no more superstar than Scottie Pippen.
If you want to ask Scottie Pippen a superstar, okay, that's two. It's still not three.
The thing is though,
What's the third superstar at?
the defensive player, the 3-time defensive player of the year, Dennis Rodman.
That's not a superstar.
How's
That's
that
not
not
a
a superstar?
superstar.
He led the league in rebounds like almost every year he played. Or not every, like not every year he played.
All right. Okay, okay,
That makes no
okay.
sense to me. That makes no
Okay.
sense.
So
That's
when Andre,
look. Now you're hold on. Let me finish my definition real quick. My definition of a super team is you have all the right pieces. You literally have all the right pieces that work together in conjunction. You have the star of the show. You have maybe a co-star, and you have a starting lineup that to boot. You know what I'm saying? You have a starting five to boot. You had three defensive player of the year level players on one team. You had arguably the greatest scorer to ever play on the same team. You had a Swiss Army knife level player in Scottie Pippen. You had shooters, you had defenders, you had Ron Harper, you had Steve Kerr, you had Dennis Rodman, the arguably I would say as top three greatest rebounders of all time on the same exact team. You had Hall of Fame coach who just won 3 chips and Phil Jackson. That's not a super caliber. That's not a super? You think that's one of the greatest teams of all time? So it's not a super team. I remember asking you what's one of your top 5 greatest teams. You said one of Michael Jordan Bulls team.
mm-hmm.
So which one of Michael Jordan's Bulls teams? Since you don't think that's a super team with Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan, then which one of his teams that didn't have Dennis Rodman in was a super team? I mean, was a top 5 best team of all time? Since it's not a super team, that makes no sense. You can't have
No, it wasn't a super team. A super team has three
but it's the top
superstars.
5 team of all time.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm sorry. That like no offense, but that shit is dumb as hell.
You can be a great team without being a super team, bro. Like the Detroit Pistons with Isaiah Thomas was a great team. They were not a super team. Isaiah Thomas was the only superstar on that team. They literally had one superstar, and that was Isaiah Thomas. They were not a super team.
They had high, like very high level caliber.
Correct. That's correct, Corey. Yeah, I agree. I agree. When before KD joined Golden State, they were not a super team, but they was a really good team. When they got KD, if you count Clay as a superstar, then they had three superstars. It was Clay, Steph, and KD. But some people don't count Clay as a superstar because they never seen him lead the team as a number one. So it's kind of hard to say if Clay is a superstar or not. But when you talk about Wade, Bosh, and LeBron James, all three of them led their team as a number one and successfully led their team. They all made playoff berths. LeBron had made the finals. Wade had won the finals. You know, it's not far fetched to say that the Miami Heat big three were a super team because they had three superstars who led their team as a number one, right? Dennis Rodman has never even been a number one before. When he was in his prime, remember when he was with Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman was 37, 38, and 39, right? So he's past his prime
What?
already. So even when Dennis Rodman was in his prime playing with Detroit, he was not a scoring option. He was not an all-star. He was not a superstar. He was not a number one, number two, number three, none of that. It was Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, and Vinnie Johnson. And then everybody else was just out there rebounding, playing defense, and fouling. It's a good team, a great team, not a super team. Just
That's right.
because you're great don't mean you're a superstar, or don't just because your team is great don't mean it's a super team. So yes, my definition of a super team is three superstars in their prime on one team. And you have to be a superstar and you have to be in your prime. Not two superstars. Shaq and Kobe, that's two superstars, not three.
I just
Ray Allen, Garnett, Paul Pierce, there's a three superstars, and all three of them led their team as a number one
they
prior to,
weren't even in their prime though.
and they were in their prime.
Kevin Garnett was in his prime.
They was in their prime.
That was all right, bro.
Right? So the big Boston Big Three super team, Miami Big Three super team, KD led Golden State Warriors team, super team. If you count Clay as a superstar, some people don't. I do. Right? So super team in Golden State. There's three super teams I can think of. LeBron in Cleveland was not a super team because Kevin Love is not a superstar. But Kyrie and LeBron was, but they're not. That is not three. Name another one. Harden, KD, and Kyrie in Brooklyn was a super team, but they never got a chance to really play together. That was a super team.
All right, bro. I disagree, but
Hey, but by your definition, you said Dennis Rodman played defense and rebounded at a high level, so that made him a superstar. So I just want to let you know that you also just named Rudy Gobert a superstar because he led the league in blocks, played defense, and he led the league in rebounds. So Rudy Gobert, by your definition, is a superstar.
I just still don't think that Rudy Gobert is as impactful as Dennis Rodman. But that's just me.
Bro, you just said if you leading the league in rebounding and
I said his defensive impact. My specific
okay,
word was
Rudy
defensive impact.
Gobert leading the league in blocks is defensive impact
Mark Eaton led the league. Mark Eaton led the league in blacks.
right. And so by your definition, Mark Eaton is a
But that's
superstar.
not defensive
But
impact.
see,
Bro.
that lets you know how idiotic your definition of a superstar is. Because
That's not what.
if you apply it across the board,
Bro.
it's going to include people that's obviously not superstars.
Defensive impact
So
doesn't necessarily
by
include.
you trying to add Rodman
Oh,
in as a superstar to try to make Michael Jordan Bulls team a super team, you're also making Rudy Gobert, Mark Eaton superstars.
that's not true. That's not true. Because leading the league in block shots doesn't mean you have the same level of
Yeah,
defensive impact as
yeah,
another player.
yeah. He definitely moving the goalposts. Definitely moving.
That's not
Hold on,
moving the goalposts.
hold on,
Leading the
hold
league
on.
in block shots doesn't mean you have the same defensive impact as another player. It doesn't make any sense.
You're right, but you said
Oh,
defensive
you're
impact.
saying
Defensive impact and rebounding made Rodman a superstar, correct?
defense. I said three things. I said defensive impact. Not superstar. I said he was very impactful, highly impactful.
Okay, so he's not a superstar. So there's no conversation then.
But
So
that's
the Bulls
we
didn't
have
have a
the
super team.
definition of super team.
Okay, so he's not a superstar. Cool.
That's
So
your
he's not a
definition.
superstar.
I didn't say he was a
All right.
superstar. I said he
So
was.
we agree. So we agree. Rodman's not a superstar. We agree.
I guess he was a star though.
Who was 36? Rodman. The last year Rodman was on the Bulls was he? I think Jordan was 35. Rodman was 38. That's facts. Dennis Rodman was 38 on his last year in the Bulls.
It doesn't, bro. He was still averaging like 15 rebounds.
He was past his prime, bro.
Oh my god, nigga.
When is the prime end for you?
It ends when they start producing.
Really? That's prime? So you don't know the definition of prime, do you?
It ends when they start. It ends when they start producing.
Okay, so let me change the word. What's your definition of peak?
The highest levels of production.
Okay, the highest level of production. So when you reach your peak, and which is also known as your prime, you maintain it for as long as possible, and then eventually you start going down on the other side of the mountain, slowly but surely, right? So you can still be producing past your prime, but you're not at your peak anymore. You're not in your prime no more. You're
bro.
declining. Once you
Everyone-
once you start to decline, you're past your prime.
how did Dennis Rodman decline in Chicago?
You tell me how he declined. How about a knee injury where he was running around with a knee brace on? Yeah, so
Well,
yeah, third.
Michael Jordan had a foot injury in like his 30 years in, and his
Oh yeah. You're right,
that
Landon Hartless.
doesn't mean nothing, bro.
He was 36 on his last ring with the Bulls. You was right. So let me ask you quick. This is how
I
you
gotta,
know this is how you know Rodman declined. This is how you know he declined. Rodman made two All Stars, right? He made an All Star in Detroit in 1989 and 90, and he made an All Star in Detroit in 1991 and 92. Ask me, did he make another All Star after that?
did he make an All Star before? Did he make an All Star in the middle? No, All Star
No,
voting.
wait, stop. 1991, 92 was his last All Star at age 30, and he also played 82 games a year. Let me tell you what his prime looked like. As a rookie, he wasn't in his prime yet. 77 games, 82 games, 82 games, 82 games, 82 games, 82 games. That's all the way up to his last year as an All Star. Then his last year in Detroit, he played 62 games, right? And then Detroit was like, he probably getting a little past his prime. Let's get rid of him. He went to San Antonio, played 79 games. Then 1 year at age 33, he played 49 games, right? He only started 26 of those games that he played in. He only played in 49. So now he's missing games. First year with the Bulls, he didn't play 82 games. He played 64. I wonder why he's not. Is he declining? Is that why he can't play 82 games no more? Is he declining? He only played 64 games. The next year at 35, he only played 55 games, right? Do you think that's got anything to do with a decline? Do you think he's past his prime at 35 and he's missing games, bro?
Was he missing games in the playoffs when the Bulls needed him?
If he was in his prime, he wouldn't have missed them in the regular season either.
Was he missing games in the playoffs when the Bulls needed him? But was he missing games when he was contributing?
No, he was playing hurt, but he was past his prime.
But
That's why he was missing games in the regular season.
Oh my God!
That's why he was missing games in the regular
playoffs?
season, dude.
You know,
A decline is a decline. If I'm missing games, it's because I either got injured or I'm declining and I get injured more easily, right? I might still be able to, if I ain't got to play 82 games, but when I do show up and I feel good, I grab you 15 boards. It's good. But look, I'm grabbing you 15 boards tonight. Guess what I'm doing tonight if we got a game? I'm sitting out. Like LeBron, he's not playing back to backs. Why? Because he's not in his prime no more. Just because he's getting 30 don't mean he's in his prime. He's definitely declining. He can't do what he used to do back to back to back to back to back for 4 straight quarters. He need more help because he's not in his prime. Dude, I'm giving you this free game and you're not taking it.
nah. Hey, look, I'm listening. It's just you. We've gone so far from the original. We strayed so far from the original topic that it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Landon Hartley. He was 36. You was right.
That's your boy.
Yeah. But that's it, man. You always get schooled once again, man. But I appreciate you coming through.
Bro, I didn't. All right, bro. All right, man.
And you ain't even let my homeboy talk, man. You just,
I can't hear him.
Y'all can't hear Corey? Say something, Corey. You still can't hear him?
Nah.
Man, that's your phone, man. I can hear him fine.
That's it's a hearing aid. All right,
Hey,
bro.
man, stop hijacking the lives, man. Stay on topic, man. We're talking about LeBron James tonight.
Bro, that was you. All right, bro. I'm out, bro.
Talking about LeBron James. Did he not what was I moving the goalpost, Corey? Oh man. Every single time he did it. First he said Rodman was a superstar. Then when I told him, hey man, by your
What's funny to me, man, is that he takes all these older players, and the only thing he's judged at all is highlights that he's seen. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's really stats. It's really stats. He's not watching them players. It's stats.
But I mean, you can't
Oh man. Hey, look, my I got a homeboy I grew up with that played for Cincinnati. You know Oscar played for Cincinnati too, right? This dude played 4 years at Cincinnati, and he ain't even seen Oscar play. He met him. Now he the OG to him, but man, ain't nobody going back and watching no daggone 60s film to study. Ain't nobody doing it. You might got some people like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. They might be watching it, but for I mean, it's people that's not even watching Kareem in the 70s. They ain't even watching that. So you know they ain't going back to no 60s.
You watching a black and white highlight film that might get a color like towards the end of their career, maybe. That's all
Exactly.
you get. And you can't like that. You can't come on here and be like, I've seen him play. No, you haven't. You've never seen Oscar Robertson play.
A couple of highlights. That's it.
That's all you've seen.
A couple of highlights with somebody.
You can look up Corey Champ football highlights and you think I was the best quarterback ever assembled.
They recording it like this, winding the camera while I was recording. They got to wind it like a little Jack in the Box.
It literally has a film reel on the top of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah. He said he seen full game. This is
highlights
cap.
are there for a reason. They're called highlights. That means they were the high point of whatever season or your career, whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't say anything.
Let me ask you this, though, Corey. You think Rodman was a superstar?
No,
Wh-
because my definition of superstar, you have some different criteria, but mine is pretty close to yours. A number one on the team because I think Cleveland was a superstar, a super team, but I think they wasted Kevin Love's career.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin. So Kevin Love in Minnesota.
He absolutely was running things in Minnesota.
He
Absolutely.
was he was,
That's
but
why LeBron went and got it.
did he reach superstar status though?
I believe so.
Ah, it's kind of tough, man. He was climbing.
Kevin Love was a household name until he went to Cleveland, and they wasted his prime.
They turned him into a 3-point shooter just like Bosh. They was just shooting
They
threes.
wasted his prime.
But how good you got to be to go from a post player like Kevin Love and Chris Bosh both went from a post player to spot up 3-point shooters. How much practice did they put in to do that just to play with LeBron?
It had to be a tremendous amount.
Because they was knocked down. They was knocking them down, boy. You couldn't leave them open at all.
No,
Couldn't leave them open at
Kevin
all.
Love already had that in his arsenal. That's the reason that he came to Cleveland because he was the man in Minnesota,
Yeah,
and LeBron wanted another the man on his team.
and he was leading the league in rebounds too.
It's just when he came to Cleveland, it just turned into look.
Well, he cut his game in half because if you in Minnesota and you posting up and scoring on, because you remember Kevin Love had a little, he was a little bit bigger. He lost a lot of weight that be able to play on the perimeter, but he was a post player. And I'm talking about like he had a post game like Jokic, right? He had a post game like Jokic, and he was rebounding at a high clip. So imagine right now if Jokic went and played with LeBron, and he didn't post up no more. He just spot up at the 3-point line and shot threes. And everybody who plays that high screen roll ball dominant offense like Harden, Westbrook, LeBron, and Luca, they always turn their big man into 3-point shooters. Porzingis turned into a 3-point shooter. Um, um, um,
Okay,
Chris Bosh, Kevin Love.
you can't be in the lane because you're clogging it up.
Correct.
So
Correct.
in order for you to be effective, you have to be a good outside shooter.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's just like it's a waste of talent. If Jokic was to go to Dallas, right, it would be a waste of talent.
Yeah. He'd be shooting threes. They'd be just like Porzingis.
He definitely wouldn't be in your MVP talk every year. He wouldn't. He
No.
wouldn't be in the damn way.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you have these players that LeBron brought in, like Kevin Love, right?
Yep.
That were absolute number ones on their their team previously. They led their teams and they were successful leading their team. They just got to that team and you got to fall in line.
Yep.
And you're not going to be number one. You're probably going to be number three.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. So Dennis Rodman was never Kevin Love on any team that he played on. He just played good defense.
And
I mean,
rebounded.
this dude would have his brother throw balls at the rim at 100 miles an hour. I mean, that was his craft. That's what he did.
Mm.
He wasn't never no score. I mean, as soon as they brought him in and Jordan told him like, hey, you know, you gonna have to score. Like it drove him crazy. He had to leave the team. It just wasn't. That's not him. And to be a superstar, you have to be. I mean, you gotta do something. The game of basketball is all about scoring points.
All about scoring.
What did he average in his career? Maybe 8 points a game.
Probably not even that. Probably not even that. And think of it this way, Corey. Think of it this way. Because I wanted to say this while Aaron was on, but I knew it would have started a whole nother debate. Like he keeps saying I'm moving the goalposts, but all I'm doing is stating things that I believe, and then he wants to debate it, and then that's when it starts a new conversation. So I wanted to say you can't be a superstar if you're not scoring. Like scoring is what make you a superstar. Like it's people that score and don't play defense at all, and they're still a superstar, like Harden and Luka. Like scoring makes you a superstar. So if you can't score, that's already a telltale sign you're not a superstar. So Ben Simmons was an all-star, and he was on his way to being a superstar, right? As soon as he couldn't score no more, he ain't even an all-star no more. So he definitely not a superstar. So Ben Simmons is still rebounding and playing defense and assisting the ball. He's getting 8 assists, 8 rebounds. And
Ben Simmons is about 18 months to be out of the NBA.
yeah, well, I don't know about out of the NBA. He's still better than anybody on your bench.
He reminds me. Ben Simmons reminds me, and I can't even remember that dude's name. Dude played for Minnesota, not Minnesota, but Milwaukee. He was supposed to be the next best thing since sliced cheese, and got to the NBA and just could never put it together.
What position you play?
He was either 2 or 3.
Minnesota. You say Minnesota drafted him?
No, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee drafted him. OJ Mayo?
No, not OJ. I can't even remember this dude's name. He was a little tall, kind of light skinned.
Oh no.
He was supposed. I mean,
Charlie Villanueva? Villanueva? No.
no, this was a little bit further back, just a little bit.
Van Baker?
Not Van Baker, not that far back.
Van Baker was hooping though.
He had like a little hot top haircut.
I don't know. I can't guess.
I could see his face, man. Like he was, and I think he was number 13. I think so. But that just to tell you, like this dude was supposed to be the absolute truth, and he could just never put it together.
Not Michael Carter Williams. He got drafted by Philly.
No, I'm gonna find his name right now.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, but with Ben though, I mean, it ain't like the dude can't play. It's just he just lost his mojo somehow, man. Like and it's a real thing that can happen, but it's not normal. So like, but it happened to Van Baker. Van Baker went into a deep depression.
Jabari Parker.
Oh, but his ACLs, man. He kept tearing his ACL.
I know he hurt his knee. I was gonna say that he hurt his knee.
Oh, he was cold too. Yeah, he hurt it. Yeah, he hurt his knee like 3-4 years in a row.
Yeah, he just could not.
Yeah, he was on somebody's roster last year though.
Was it?
Yeah, he was on year before last. Somebody brought him back, and he actually played some. They put him in the game in the playoffs a couple of times, but like people scared to play him because like he was tearing his knee so easy. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't even like hyperextensions or bumping his knees. It was like I'm running and just running full speed. All of a sudden, I just get the limping. Like that's the last two times he messed his knee up, man. It wasn't like no serious looking injury. It was just like he was just doing normal stuff. So people, yeah, people were scared, and that's what happened. That's what started happening to T Mac his last couple of years in the league. Like he was like Anthony Davis his last 3 years in the league.
Yeah, I mean, there are it's like it's being similar. Like I don't know, like I don't really know what happened, man. Like I know it had a lot to do with his little stint, but especially that last little stint, silly. But I just feel like I just feel like, man, you should be over that by now, man. Like, what's the hold up now? You know what I mean? And I don't know if his confidence is just that shot. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
he,
pretty much.
I mean, if his confidence is that shot, man, it might be time to seek employment elsewhere, do something else. Maybe this ain't for you no more.
The dude can still hoop, man. All he got to do is drive to the hole and score. I mean, he ain't never shoot no threes or no jumpers. So I mean, just get the dunks and the layups you used to get, man. What's the problem? Yeah, whoever his therapist is taking it too easy with him, man. He just need to just go ahead and you know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody needs to tell him, hey man, you need to shake that shit off your program.
Yeah. But yeah, let me go ahead and end this stream so I can get into bed, man. I got an early day, man. I just I wanted, man. This was supposed to be like 30 minutes long, man. I ain't even. I should have never let Aaron on. He always do this to me, man. But I did learn one thing. I did learn that Rudy Gobert was a superstar, and Mark Eaton was a superstar because they play defense. So anybody that play defense Ben Wallace was a superstar. Bruce Bowen was a superstar. Shane Battier was a superstar. And he said if Tony Allen was a superstar. If you have impact on defense, you are a superstar. That's what Aaron said. So Tony Allen, Bruce Bowen, Dennis Rodman, Rudy Gobert, Mark Eaton, Tyson Chandler is a superstar. So that I mean, really, if you really take his definition, the Dallas Mavericks was a super team when they had Dirk, Jason Kidd, and Tyson Chandler. Because Tyson Chandler was a superstar because he was the defensive shot blocker, and even though Jason Kidd was 1,000 years old, he used to be a superstar. So I guess we'd count him too. So that's three superstars on the squad. So the Dallas Mavericks was a super team according to Aaron. And I mean, who else played defense? I mean, Robert Ory, superstar. Yeah, just I mean, anybody that play defense, man. Horace Grant, superstar. Man, come on, man.
You gonna make him call back in, man. Leave that dude alone.
Yeah, man. Let me get out of here, man. Let me end this, man. Appreciate you, Corey.
Do your thing, my brother.
All right, be dog.